man.
That's right. So today, real quick, we wanted to mention that when we went on our trip, we both had the flu, but separately. So about 2 days before we left Ecuador, I caught it real bad. I had a temperature for a couple days. It just so happens that the day we left, I didn't have a temperature anymore, but I felt disgusting. Don't know exactly how I got it, where it came from, but the flight from Ecuador all the way to Italy was long and arduous for me because I was feeling absolutely horrible. The day before we left, I had like 102 fever. That lasted, I felt bad for at least, maybe about a week after we got to Europe. When we were in France, I was still feeling pretty bad. So I'm feeling better. Fast forward, we take our trips we went to Naples before we went to Paris. By the time we came back from Paris, I was feeling pretty good. Then we came back and we went to Venice.
Yeah, because we went to Venice. It was that Saturday.
I think so.
That Saturday night, I got a little tickle. Sunday, it was full blown.
Yeah, she was bad. Like she had it. I had it pretty bad, but I wasn't like throwing up or anything. She had it worse than me.
Like my whole body just ached and I could not get warm.
Yeah. So let's back up. While I was sick, had to do something about it. I was only taking like my allergy medicine to try to stop some of the congestion. LaShawn had been doing some research anyway before we even traveled. She found out about Doctors in Italy on Facebook. Doctors in Italy is a website that you can go to and you plug in your information and you start getting all these text messages from a bunch of different doctors, basically bidding on the chance to have a video appointment with you. Worked like a charm. I can't give it enough praise. I set up an appointment and the doctor called me at the time that I set up. I think the whole thing took maybe 3 or 4 minutes. She said, okay, I'm going to write you a prescription, send it and email it to you. Check my email 15, 20 minutes later. Prescription's there. Take it to the pharmacy. Got the prescription filled. Wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful. I don't know why I don't do stuff like that here in the States.
You started feeling better like 2 days later.
Yeah, it was a couple days later I started feeling better.
Throughout that time, I'm feeling fine. We are just traveling. I didn't know he was as sick as he was.
Yeah, I didn't want to tell her because I didn't want to ruin the trip, but I was feeling terrible pretty much everywhere we were going.
He played it off until he got to a point he was like, I need to lay down. And I was like, okay. But yeah, he was a real trooper. Now, for myself, no. It was absolutely terrible. I was vomiting, I would get dizzy, I would have extreme hot spells. Yeah. I'm not even saying hot flash, a hot spell to the point my ears was ringing like a person who has tinnitus. And I've never had a high fever of 103. And it would go down, but it wouldn't break. It would get to like 100.
Yeah, you got a temperature for a few days.
I had a temperature almost 4 days.
Yeah.
I contacted doctors in Italy, spoke to the doctor. She prescribed the medicine for me. He went and picked it up because I had no energy.
Yeah.
The first time I took it, it was fine, but the second time I took it,
the medicine made you sick.
It made me really sick, the medicine.
Yeah, she did finally start getting the appetite back a little bit, so she could eat. You got the same doctor I did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just coincidentally, she got the same doctor I did. Like I said, the service itself was wonderful. It didn't cost very much.
No.
And like I said, the doctors text you through the app, through the website, and they bid basically on. So you can take the lowest bid if you want, or whichever one is, whichever one is the soonest. However you want to do it, you can choose.
Cost efficient.
Yeah. This is the reason that we did not get to go to Florence and anywhere else in Italy. Because maybe like the last 4 or 5 days or 6 days. Well, the last several days that we were in Italy, when we planned to maybe visit another city, we couldn't. LaShawn was just too ill. She could barely walk up and down the street. So I knew, getting on the train and going somewhere and walking around that wasn't gonna happen. And even though she tried one night. She said, we're gonna go. I'm so glad I didn't book those train tickets. So glad.
Yeah.
Because it was like late that night before, and she was just terrible. She was horrible. I was like, I'm glad I didn't buy those train tickets because you could definitely not travel in the morning.
Yeah.
That's the reason we didn't get to a few more places. And our last day there is we finally kind of got back out and took a little walk. It was still hard for her because she could barely breathe.
Yeah.
All in all, even with the bad travel experience, being sick, it was still a great trip.
Yeah.
By the time you see this video, we may actually be back in Ecuador. So we're here in the States just getting our paperwork done. You know, we're redoing our visas. So getting all our stuff taken care of. So yeah, by the time you see this, we may actually be back already.
Well,
Once again,
if you take a trip to Italy, know that you can and get sick or anything happens, know that you can contact doctors in Italy.
yeah, and I should be able to find that website, and I'll plug it in the video. But like we always say, thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe.
Yes.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.